Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I heard good things about this.
Yes, Michelle Yeoh doing a particularly interesting. Um, I'm gonna call it her JCVD.
Okay,
Um,
and I really
it
like that movie.
Yeah, it's a bit like that in the sense that it's like a lot of things as the title is aptly named. Um, it's gonna be hard to talk about this without detracting from anyone who hasn't yet seen it. So I'm gonna definitely talk a bit in circles, and I know some people love that, but this is one of those movies where it's like it's worth it to just go in
I
and
have
just let
no
it hit
idea
you.
what the plot of this movie is, despite seeing two trailers for it.
Yeah, I didn't see any trailers. I just heard it was solid, and I was like, yeah, I hear this is good, and I was told someone told me that this would be up my alley, so I was like, okay, and then went in and I was like, cool, and I also know Michelle Yeoh's in it, and I guess when I see that, I kind of expect you know her to be like badass middle aged kung fu
Quality.
lady, you know, and yeah, you get some of that, and you get a whole lot of other things. The reason why I say the JCVD is because it's a bit like this is a little outside of the expected wheelhouse of what their film career would
Yeah.
entail, and it's a more personal kind of feeling story, but it's a fantastic step outside of the expected.
Hmm.
Um, the other things I'll say about it is that like it is one of the examples of a film with like the highest ambitions with the lowest budget possible to represent those ambitions, and it
Hmm.
does a really fantastic job like within those limitations, um, by kind of just having fun with everything. Um, and the other things I'll say are that it can enter into the recent trilogy of the Mom's Chill the Fuck Out trilogy. That is Encanto, uh, Turning Red, and now a little bit of
Ah,
this.
okay. Yeah, okay.
Right? There's a little bit of that, but it's so much more. But in terms of just like a brief introductory topic, there's a feeling of like, yeah, you can throw that into that trilogy, you know. Um, so it's from what I understand it's directed by the Daniels, which is yeah, two directors that work together, and A2 it's an A24 film, which means it's a little more indie, and I think but the Russos are producing it, so it's like it's got that level of like
Okay.
clout, you know, with the
Pre-
Marvel dudes on that.
Pretty much the only thing I heard about its production is that it was made with like no money.
It feels like it, but the ambitions are so high. It's really like all and they yeah, I mean like that's all I can really say is like you can see that they're like knowing the limitations. Let's have fun with our costume design. Let's have fun with our sets. Let's have fun with our cast. And it is and in terms of just like thematics and such, I would say that it is a really good um it answers a bit of a question that's like what is the it kind of asks and answers what is the answer to nihilism, right? That's part of what's going on.
Doing drugs and getting your dick wet.
I mean, that's certainly one answer. um there's a couple other potential answers to it, and it's a complex question, but it provides an interesting proposition to that. And then yeah, the there's again there's not much to say with I don't want to go into too many specifics obviously, but I'll say that it has fun with the structure of the film, like the editing, the way that it's presented, the it has fun being just a unique movie. But Michelle Yeoh shows up and does some cool Michelle Yeoh things, and then her supporting cast as well does a pretty solid job of like um, you know floating around the roles of like her family, and it's a really fun way on to it's a really fun way to touch on um like existential what type of life could I have lived in an alternate, if I could do it over again in an alternate reality, what type of like possible other me's are out there, you know? It kind of gets into a little bit of like, oh, like I'm living this version of my life. What other versions of my life could there have been, you know? And it kind of lets you think about that for a while and then just kind of explore that idea. That's about as much as I'm gonna say, but go out
In
and check it
one
out.
of the versions of her life on the camera, does she stand up and proudly yell, "It's Morbin time"?
It's possible.
It's possible.
We saw a lot of examples of possibility. There could have been one of those. In fact, some of the more absurd possibilities are likely. So,
Okay.
in one of those possibilities, there was in fact a Morbius sweep.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Not this
definitely.
one.
At least one timeline contained a Morbius sweep. Make no mistake. So, um,
That thing's coming to digital next week. Does that
hell yeah,
seem fast to you?
hell yeah, it's good.
That seems fast.
Mm,
It's about to be Morbin time.
let's do it. Um, I mean, I'm not at this point. Like I can't keep up with the sweep evolution. Like it's on the third generation of sweep memes,
Oh yeah.
and like it's been like like
Like
half a month.
I'm looking down and I'm seeing somebody ask, "Is there a universe with a Morbillionaire?" And I'm like, I don't.
That is the
It's
fastest meme evolution like sequence that's occurred in the last like
it's
2 years probably.
it's basically just now the MORB and then just go nuts.
Go nuts with it. Yeah. Uh, well, anyway, yeah. The and then the fun thing too, of well, it's interesting because like the title, "Everything Everywhere All at Once." Originally, when I saw that, it made me think of there's a song on the Bo Burnham special Inside called
Uh-huh.
"Everything Everywhere All of the Time," and like I got the two confused, so I was like, "Are you talking about that song? What's you know?" And it was
Yeah.
but no, no, definitely not. This is a different thing. And yeah, go see it. That's all I can say. Go see it, and you know, uh, if you if you have if you have a desire for some whimsy, you're gonna be in for some whimsy. I like some whimsy in my movies. You know, I don't know if you do, but I enjoy it.
I it depends. I could go for some whimsy, but usually whimsy just comes off annoying. It's a
Mm-hmm.
fine line to me.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I had to like you have to buy into to the premise of the movie when it starts moving,
Well, yeah.
and like there was a while where I'm like okay, and then there's a build up, and then there's a couple of scenes where it cashes in and you're like okay, I'm buying into the whimsy, you know. um there's a scene that like goes on for like a couple of minutes with no dialogue in it, and it's wonderful.
Okay.
So stuff like that where you're like, no, 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 we're gonna commit to something really strange here on film, and if you're in it, you're in it. If you're down, you're down, and hopefully by that point you would be. So, um, yeah, yeah, be sure to check that out and go in cold. I'll say it's enjoyable cold.